The teacher was the epitome of the school marm that was in the picture. Now let me say that again. I try to remember people according to some of their features. And she had graying hair that was twisted and tight in a bun in the back. And she wore glasses. I don't ever remember her wearing colors anything other than drab. So she was the epitome of the school marm in the picture book. And she still believed in corporal punishment and occasionally meted it out. Well, Arliss and I, in our whispering and being friends, we decided, we figured out, we wondered which one of us could pin down the other one in a wrestling match. And we talked about this. And I'd seen him take on some boys on the playground, and I knew he was pretty good at it. Well, I had two brothers at home, and we lived on a farm, and I figured I was pretty good at it too. So Arliss and I made a pact. We would have a wrestling match. And it was in September, just like right now, in 1947, on the 4th grade playground, right over yonder, here at Homestead School. Now, it was too warm a day to dress like cold weather. But the only time girls could wear long pants to school is if it was cold weather. And you could wear them up under your skirt. But you always wore a skirt. Well, I had to factor that in as to whether I'd have a wrestling match with Arliss on the playground. And so we decided on a day, and on that day, I wore pants up under my dress. Well, some people noticed, you know, it was cool that morning. But by afternoon, recess time, right about this time of day, recess came, and Arliss and I went to the very back side of the playground. And we began to, decide. We made up our own rules. Whoever pinned the first one down, the other one down, and held them would be the winner. Well, we started wrestling. Arliss pushed, and I pushed. Well, he really was probably the quickest. It didn't take too many shoves and pushes before we began to have a crowd of school children around us. You know, there's a fight on the playground. And of course, a few tattlers ran into the schoolroom to tell me there's a fight on the playground. Well, Arliss pinned me down. And I looked up, and here stood a teacher with a paddle up here raised up like this. She was ready to swat whoever bottom she thought was going to get the first one. And she was ready to lay into us. And then she realized it was a fight between a boy and a girl. Never happened before. And the kids were ringing around us. Well, like I said, Arliss had pinned me down. But when the shout was something about, here's the teacher, he glanced up, and in that moment, I flipped him over. And I got him pinned down. And teacher was so dumbstruck, she stepped back just a little bit. She kind of lowered that paddle. Well, we had to end the fight right there because, well, it was just too much at risk to keep on. It was a day and time when a schoolyard fight meant you got a paddle. And then you were sent to the principal's office. And you sent a note home with your parents. And I've already kind of told you that my mama taught over down there in high school. That's when it occurred to me that I was going to be told on up the ranks. It never occurred to me in fighting with Arliss that it'd go anywhere other than just us. That teacher was so astonished that we were boy and girl wrestling, and we began to say, it's not a fight. We arranged this. We planned this. And thankfully, one or two other kids had kind of caught on. And they said, well, no, they wasn't a fight, and they was just a wrestling. A teacher noticed that I had those pants on, which I think was a good clue in my favor. That I had pre-planned this. It wasn't a confrontation, it was a planned wrestling match. So, she backed down her paddle and she walked toward the classroom and she didn't say anything more. And the kids kind of partied and scattered around. Of course, it went all over. Everybody, did you know that they wrestled? Let me tell you what there was on school this afternoon. So the word got around. However, it never got to the principal. It never got to my mom and daddy. I think I would have had a peeled butt if it had. And thereafter, Arliss and I were friends for life. Now, beyond 8th grade, we didn't see each other very much because I went to high school in town. But over the years, we'd cross paths. And there would be that inevitable twinkle in the eye and a little grin of the lips. And we knew exactly what we would think of that, you know? And so, just occasionally we would go back and review who pinned who on the ground. And he always thought he won, and I always thought I won, but we decided it was a fair and square draw, and we would just leave it at that. Now, do you think, I think this is a special place? Homestead School has a lot of memories. Some of them with mischief, some of them with real learning and friends for life. And that girl who said to me, you'd be more fun to play with if you didn't talk so proper. Took me about 40 years to discuss that with her. She didn't remember it, and she said, I sounded kind of bossy. And I said, yes, you were real bossy. So we patched that up, and I don't hold it against her anymore. One of the things I do is write memoir vignettes. And I write about these little slices of my life. And these are some slices that I've made notes on and I want to write about, and I'll add to my notebook. So, I'll just call it quits right here and tell you that I'm glad you're here on Homestead School and that you can find your own memories. Maybe you know some other people who've been here and they can tell you some stories gooder than mine.